Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another amazing match here at the Rose League Season 2. I'm your play-by-play this evening, Captain Jack, joined by Platinum Thistle as our color caster for the evening. How you doing, Platinum?
I'm pretty good. I'm super excited. I like the names for the side of Asylum Gaming. Biggie Cheese is going to be a tough one to say in the heat of the moment without giggling. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Get a Biggie Cheese, Blue Moose. Sparrow's gonna want to make me say Spearow, like the Pokemon. So
Yeah.
And Luminos. So I'm gonna have to be careful on those ones. But we've definitely got a great match for y'all this evening. Asylum Gaming versus Team Blackout in our Diamond division this evening. And just as a little note, if you didn't open your Overwatch game today, it is time to chase the truth. For the next 3 weeks, Storms Rising, the new rendition of, I don't even know what you would call this, like a story series?
It's called The
I guess.
Archives.
Is it called The Archives? Is that what
Yes.
they decided
Yeah.
like the whole thing was? Because
Yeah,
like last year they
Archives.
called it Archives, and then the year before they called it something else. So I didn't know if it was like...
First year it was Omnic Crisis. What was it called first year?
I can't. I did not play first year. I remember the year after that when it was the second map.
Hold on. You're gonna need to invite me back to
Yep.
this lobby because I need to check.
Now we need to know. We will get
Okay.
you the info. folks.
First one was Uprising. Second one was
That's
Retribution.
right.
This one is Storm Rising.
So the whole thing is called Archives. That makes sense.
Yes.
All right, so be sure to be diving into the Archives this week. If you have never played the Archives, I assure you, it is a fun time. It is a fun time, and it's always interesting every year when these come around, when heroes get different changes to them. I know that I felt that way this last Halloween when they took away Hanzo's Storm Arrow, or Scatter Arrow, and replaced it with Storm Arrow, and he just became OP as crazy when it came to defeating those Zomnics. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how Torb's new rework changes the game.
I can tell you, it makes him a beast at the Uprising event.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's great.
Absolutely.
I need to finish Legendary on that one. So if our players are ready to go, it looks like our first map this evening going to be Lijiang Tower. So not our usually we go to Nepal for our very first game. So that's gonna be
we're on map pool 2. We're on.
Oh, is this week 6? Oh,
Yes.
we're week 6. So
Our first choices were either Ilios or Lijiang Tower. Ilios with the gold division, and today is Lijiang Tower.
missing Boop
Dorado.
Central today. That's too
Will either
bad.
be Dorado or Gibraltar, then Kings Row
Okay.
or Hollywood, and then Paris or Volskaya, and then the tiebreaker map is Busan.
Ooh, I love me some Busan. Maybe we'll get to a map 5 tonight. Let's
That'd be
see.
great.
Let's see what we can make happen. So for the Diamond division, both these teams are coming in from Conference 2. Both conferences one conference consists of 12 teams. That's Conference 1. Conference 2 consists of 11 teams. Team Blackout is currently 2-2 in Conference 2. Asylum Gaming currently 1-4. So struggling a little bit, but it's only about halfway through the season. So I believe that they can bring it back if they've been doing their research and all that jazz. So let's go ahead and see what they got as we open things up here on Ilios. Hi.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Who was that? We had a surprise person come in for half a second there. Let's go ahead and get into the action. It looks like we have got Asylum Gaming on the red. Blue is Team Blackout right there. Asylum Gaming taking the high ground as we see Windstar coming in on the Sombra, getting that backline, ends up getting caught by Celery on the Brigade, trying to get some space between them and the hacking Sombra. Asylum Gaming, though, going to go ahead and start things off with the percentage climb on the objective. Soul getting the first kill there onto Luminos as Sparrow ends up taking down Celery. It's a 5v5 fight, but it looks like it's going to remain in control of Asylum Gaming.
Now, what you're going to look at here is they're both running a different comp. Team Blackout is going to be running this 2-2-2 composition, whereas Asylum Gaming is going to be running Goats. Now, the problem with Goats is you don't necessarily have as much damage, but the sustainability is insane. You notice they got to that point, even though they were both one down, they managed to stay there and not be broken. We're going to be seeing if they can be broken coming at all into this next fight.
Absolutely. You see Windstar getting in the back line already, getting the hack on, so Soul can get the kill on to Luminos right there. Celery following up on Zivolte right there, but it looks like Soul's going to end up taking down Windstar as well, and that is going to be another hold for... Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see that jump there from Blue Moose?
No,
that
I
is
didn't.
impressive. Use the alternate fire of Zarya to boop themselves up on the ledge so that they could take out their McCree.
That's very
Like, how
impressive.
crazy is that? That is some impressive play right there. That's something I can't say I've seen before. 67% and climbing for Asylum Gaming, getting
It's a
stunned
stun!
out of the shatter there for Dragon Blade, and we're going to see the Dragon Blade come out for Sparrow right there. It ends up doing some damage, but not shutting anything down. Commando coming in with the anti-nade. Windstar and Luminos following up, but Dragon Blade and Soul cleaning up Zivolte and Soul Consumer right there. Windstar ends up getting Dragon Blade, but Soul taking out Luminos. The hack going to go in onto Blue Moose, but that is going to be another hold right there. 98-99. Zivolte and Sparrow coming back in on the Pharah with the Ryan. Ryan just trying to hold up as much as possible as overtime ticks away. It really looks like Asylum looking to really hold on to this as they charge away Luminos from the point to keep them from even touching. 100-0 already going to Asylum Gaming, the underdogs in our current series here for Lijiang Tower.
Absolutely, and like you saw, the sustainability was definitely there. I talked about it at the beginning, but moving back into it, you saw that Asylum Gaming definitely lost that last fight there. They lost it. They had so many picks taken against them. There were 2 people left on the point for Team Blackout, and it just... Oh, sorry. 2 people left on the point for Asylum. They lost the fight. Team Blackout just putting in an insane amount of point presence, but they never managed to flip it, and the stall game was huge from the side of Asylum Gaming. They never managed to get thrown off the point, and thus they were able to stay for their reinforcements.
And I have to say, one of the huge players we've been seeing coming up in the kill feed is Soul on that Zenyatta. Can be a huge damage dealer, as we see in the Overwatch League time and time again. Blue Moose coming in on the Pharah, starting things off by taking out Sparrow in the air. Gonna take the Sparrow out of the air, so to speak, as it is already a 5v6 point. Asylum Gaming already on the objective, looking to get that first capture percentage started, and it is now in their favor as they go ahead and get the percentage up in their favor. We're gonna see Zivolte already losing shield as the rest of the team gets pushed off and away from the objective, looking to use that boop to their advantage. Sparrow ends up taking out Soul to start things off. Eden coming in with the res on Dragon Blade after getting taken down by Luminos, and Sparrow gonna take down Blue Moose in return for that first kill. Sparrow also falling Biggie Cheese. Luminos following up on Dragon Blade as Eden and Celery also fall to the others on Team Blackout, now claiming the objective as their own for the first time this evening. 5% and climbing to the 27% given to Asylum Gaming.
Absolutely, and if Blue Moose was forced here to switch off to that McCree, and you saw he got a massive pick out from that Hanzo, the res will be there, but the McCree is mainly there to deal with the Pharah on the side of Sparrow. So is Celery. Celery's going to be there to try and counter this 2-2-2 composition that they had. They had to switch off the Goats because the damage was just too much, and their sustainability was not working well for them. And we're going to be seeing them coming up the back end of the point, not trying to get booped off by that Pharah here.
Absolutely, 35% and climbing right now. Excuse me, for the side of Team Blackout, as we see Asylum Gaming go ahead and push in. Sparrow already getting the first kill there onto Eden in the backline, so no reses for that, but Dragon Blade getting very damaging with that hammer, gets the double kill as Soul and Celery and Biggie Cheese end up solidifying the team kill on Team Blackout. That is 32% and climbing now for Asylum Gaming, 51% for Team Blackout.
And what you saw there was very, very nice. They only really used one ultimate in Dragon Blade's Shatter, and they did a beautiful job in cleaning that up in the end. So when they're going into this next fight, even though they switched off their composition, we're going to be seeing them use their last ultimate.
That trans cannot save as much as you think against that Dragon Strike. The Dragon Strike Graviton combo ends up taking down Blue Moose and Dragon Blade. It's a 4v6 fight. Now on the objective, make that 2v6 now as Sparrow and Soul Consumer are literally consuming souls on the objective. The sleep goes on to Dragon Blade as Luminos finishes it up. And at 72%, we're going to see Asylum Gaming now give it back up to Team Blackout as they start their climb once again, 59% and up.
Soul Consumer is the kind of name that I would expect someone to be who's playing Reaper to have. I wonder if at some point he played Reaper a lot.
Probably.
Maybe we'll get to see that come in, but you know, no one makes people feel more dead than being killed by a random Hanzo shot. So
that is true.
Seeing how many souls you consume on the second point.
Absolutely. Blue Moose already taking Sparrow out of the air. How comes the Graviton Barrage combo? Celery getting the double kill there with Biggie Cheese, and they're going to end up taking the point back into their advantage, 80% and climbing, now meeting the 81% and surpassing it of Team Blackout. It is very much back and forth between these two teams. It seems like despite their differential, they seem very evenly matched.
Yeah, and what you saw there was, I think, a little bit of miscommunication. Blue Moose and Celery using both ults at the same time. Sparrow with the barrage.
Woo! Sparrow getting the double kill in there with Soul Consumer taking down Dragon Blade. The res going to come in for Soul, but with no tank on the objective might make it a little difficult to hold on. Here comes in Windstar on the Mercy with the Battle Valk. Ends up taking down Celery, who is on the point. Here comes now Zavolte coming back in with the Hammond, trying to distract as long as possible. 99% is overtime. It ticks away. Blue Moose, Eden, and Dragon Blade, the only ones holding the objective, but they're going to end up getting pushed off by Sparrow and Luminos, taking it back in the favor of Team Blackout, 88% and climbing.
They do not want to get grabbed off the point here. The grab combo with the Hanzo Dragon is going to be massive if they can land it. Celery's on point, and he's almost got Barrage, but he's taken out early, and Soul's their only ultimate.
Oh, there it is! Dragon Strike going straight into it, ends up taking down Dragon Blade, and due to the hold and overtime ticket away, we're going to see this objective go to Team Blackout, leaving it 1-1 here on Lijiang Tower. That's going to take us to map number 3, the Night Market, one of my favorite markets. I don't always prefer going to the market during the day, so you can go to the Night Market. It has round-the-clock service, 24/7, light snacks, and these awesome lion statues that you can check out. So be sure to visit Lijiang Garden sometime, or Lijiang Night Market sometime.
It's also possibly got a Bob going to be crushing down onto with the Soul Consumer, and I'm super excited to see that, as I'm sure everyone is going to love a visit from their favorite Bob. And along with all of the advertisements up on the walls, it's going to be a shining attraction here. With a very nice pick from Sparrow.
Woo! Sparrow Ore taking Soul out of the fight, knowing how deadly Soul has been throughout each of the fights with those Discords and with those charge shots. Just been absolutely huge on them. The anti-nade ends up going in onto Team Blackout as they continue to try to hold. Soul Consumer ends up taking down Celery with Windstar getting the res in on Zavolte. Soul Consumer using the dynamite to even take down Biggie Cheese right there, and that is going to be a start for Team Blackout. Ends up taking the objective and starting the percentage climb 5% and up.
Now we've got Goat's composition coming out for Asylum Gaming. We've got a couple switches going on, but Blue Moose is going to be switching, I believe, from the Zarya and now onto the Widowmaker, looking to get some picks onto the 2-2-2 composition. Going to be running from Blackout. Soul is going to want to not get. He's going to want to talk to Dragon Blade, and he's going to have him keep his shield up for his transcendences because those anti-nades have been massive.
And that could be huge. Blue Moose getting the double kill right there onto Commando and Sparrow, making it a 4v6 fight as they push into the objective. Here comes Bob to try to even the playing field as much as possible. The Dynamite ends up coming out. Bob in the back line trying to do some damage, but the beat drop comes in from Eden to keep everybody up as Soul ends up taking down Soul Consumers. Bob, Biggie Cheese following up on Luminos, and Zavolte falling to Dragon Blade X right there. Here comes the Battle Valve coming out from Windstar, just trying to stay up as long as possible, but ends up getting taken down by Dragon Blade's Fire Strike right there. And that at the 60% mark for Team Blackout, we're going to see now Asylum Gaming go ahead and take control of the objective and start their percentage climb.
Now, Blue Moose just used Infrared Visor. I think that was a bit too early there because they saw where the enemy was coming out, but it's the respawn point. They know that the enemy's coming from the respawn point. I think that Blue Moose should have used it around here so they could see the enemy positioning and possibly track the Pharah better. We're going to be seeing if that's going to hurt them, the damage boosted Pharah coming into this point with the barrage maybe.
Let's see what happens. It looks like Blue Moose is coming from an outer perspective right there. Sparrow able to get the kill onto Celery, but the Fire Strike ends up taking down Sparrow right there. Biggie Cheese and Blue Moose with the triple kill. Make that team kill. Second team kill now in favor of Asylum Gaming right there. 47% and climbing. Blue Moose just absolutely popping off on the Widowmaker right there. And it looks like Sparrow now knows who they need to be scoping out.
Now let me tell you why that was a win for Blackout though. They still have 3 ultimates coming up on 4, whereas Asylum used 3 and now they've only got the 1. Anti-nade land. Let's see if it can do any damage.
And it looks like they're going to end up landing at Sparrow, taking down Eden, and we're going to see Soul Consumer now coming in as the Widow, staying very far forward on the side of Asylum Gaming to make sure that Widow doesn't come back, but you see Blue Moose coming out from the side as Sparrow takes down Biggie Cheese in the point, the only one that had ultimate. Here comes the Nano in onto Zavolte and getting damaging with that hammer. You're going to see Zavolte and Sparrow go ahead and clear the objective, and at 86% for Asylum Gaming, we're going to see Team Blackout retake it 70% and climbing.
Now, this is exactly what Asylum Gaming should have done here. They did an eco push. They forced ultimates out of Blackout. Blackout now has 3 ultimates, and that's tied up with Asylum Gaming's 3 or 4 coming up. They have almost all of their ultimate coming online now, actually. Eden finding a massive death.
Woo! It is back and forth right there. Celery is getting very shook in their triple kill onto Team Blackout right there as they try to retake the objective. Dragon Blade's going to end up taking down Sparrow in the air, and Soul's going to land Windstar right into oblivion, retaking the point for Asylum Gaming, 90% and climbing to 97%. It is anyone's game right now as the sights come out for both sides. Soul Consumer and Blue Moose now knowing where everyone is on the objective. The Diva Bomb coming in from Biggie Cheese, trying to keep them off the objective. Overtime ticking away right now in favor of Asylum Gaming. The Shatter coming out for Zavolte, but it doesn't end up landing. Here comes oh goodness, here comes the barrage out for Sparrow right there, ends up getting absorbed by Biggie Cheese as Soul Consumer takes down Celery. They're in the backline. Eden following up on Windstar as Soul Consumer ends up getting tackled by Dragon Blade. Overtime ticking away right now as we see Luminos coming in on the Diva as well as the Volte now on the Hammond, just trying to hold on as long as possible to try to get the team back into the objective. And as overtime ticks away, we're going to see Asylum Gaming go ahead and take our first victory of the night here on Lijiang Tower.
Now, did you say Asylum Gaming was coming into this with a 1-4?
Yes.
Now, that is not the kind of team that I'm seeing here. Asylum Gaming is being super dominant with a first point shutout, and although they got taken off second point, there was never a point in which I said to myself, they can't come back from this. And they just did a beautiful job going on those 2 points, and they've definitely shown some improvement here. Probably a lot of preparation has gone to this match.
Absolutely, and that's what this season is. Well, that's what Overwatch is all about. When you're practicing with teams, regardless of what division you're in, the goal is to get better. So if you're not taking the time to watch those VODs, see what mistakes you're making when you're playing the games. Work on that communication with your team. I'm sorry, but you're not going to get better. And by what we're seeing right now, it looks like Asylum Gaming is bringing it back up.
Absolutely, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they're going to be bringing on this second point, but Team Blackout definitely not out of the running yet. We're going to be seeing them on either Dorado or Gibraltar coming up, so they're going to have to make this pick. Adrift, the manager, is going to be Asylum Gaming. The manager for Asylum Gaming is in this lobby, so he will be advising them, and it looks like they've chosen Gibraltar. So that's exactly what they're going on to now. Is this a good choice for Asylum? Is this a good choice for Blackout or a bad choice for Blackout?
I mean, I have no idea, to be completely honest with you. That's one thing I want to work on when it comes to these map differentials, is trying to see if we can work out some kind of percentage difference for each team to see how they do on not just map categories like control or escort, but even just the maps themselves, and see how their percentages differ from map to map. But I would assume if this is the map that they're picking, that this is the better of the two in their favor. So let's go ahead and see what they can make happen here in just a second. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We are the Rose League, currently mid-season 2, week 6 right now. If you would like to continue to follow the action, go ahead, smash that heart button at the top of your stream for more Rose League action. We're usually hosting Monday through Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even more so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, $4.99 or a free subscription with your Twitch Prime will support our community to do even more amazing things. And make sure to hit that bell, because you won't be notified unless you ding that bell. So now we're headed to Watch Point Gibraltar for our next map, going to be our escort map. And I gotta say, I miss when everyone used to play on Watch Point, because this is such a, it's just such an aesthetically pleasing map. Like,
Absolutely.
it's sunset, like, I don't know, like when you hear them talking about the old days for Overwatch, like if you ever play Winston or Mercy or Tracer or Soldier, and when they talk about how Overwatch used to be in the olden days, if they're in the entry spawn here for the attacking side, they'll just sit there and comment about how amazing it was to have a base like this. And honestly, I would hope that we would see something like this in the future, maybe a similar Overwatch base that would have some additional storyline to tell us more about kind of what the everyday was for these Overwatch characters.
The everyday for these Overwatch characters, do you mean lore-wise?
Yes.
Well, really what's going on for a lot of these characters, we'll talk about the newest one, Baptiste, in case anybody is a little bit rusty. We're going to actually, if we're going to be looking at it, Baptiste was at first a part of the Haitian community, and later on, during the Omnic Wars, he ended up feeling extremely powerless in a group called Talon, more of the evil organization, you could say. This comprises mostly of Sombra, Widowmaker, Doomfist, Reaper, those characters. They offered him a choice to be more powerful, and he decided to do it. Being younger and arrogant, he became a battle medic for Talon. He realized during coming into a mission on Rialto, no, not on Rialto. This was released about the same time as Rialto was, so I'm getting it confused.
Yeah.
But they realized he realized just about around a mission that he could not work for Talon anymore. That it does not line up properly with his moral code. That he received the power he wanted, but at what cost? So he was sent on this mission and ended up deserting and trying to do a little bit of good on his own as more of a freelance kind of guy.
Interesting. There you go, Platinum Thistle with the recap of the story behind Baptiste. You can also check out his story video on YouTube. Just search Baptiste Origins, and that'll give you that video as well. But let's go ahead and get started here on Watch Point Gibraltar. It looks like we've got a dive composition coming in from Asylum Gaming. Soul Consumer already consuming Soul. as the first pick for the side of Team Blackout, as the Volte ends up taking down Dragon Blade. And ends up falling off the map themselves thanks to
tank
Eden.
trade.
That trade a tank for a tank right there, just boop them right off the side. Sleep Dart coming in onto Biggie Cheese as the payload already moving into the underground section. Now Dragon Blade going to get back into the action very quickly thanks to the spawn advantage that they have. The Volte, you know, it's hard when you get booped off like that. Honestly, you want to try to make it as fast as you can, because especially as a character as Reinhardt, you don't want to drag it out, because that only prevents you from getting back that much sooner. If you're a diva or something waiting for your deaths, that's another thing. But thankfully, they were able to get back in quickly. Eden already picking off Commando, though, as Sparrow gets the Storm Arrow kill onto Eden. We've already got on the high ground Blue Moose swapping over to the Widowmaker to try to get some picks against Sparrow. It is a sniper v sniper fight on the high ground. On the low ground, Celery coming in on the Genji, though, going against the brother. Sparrow ends up taking down Blue Moose on the high ground, but Dragon Blade and the rest of the team go ahead and push that payload right into objective number 1.
Now, this is going to be a map that coming into it, I thought would be more favorable for Blackout. And it's because we saw them coming out with the 2-2-2 pretty much every single time on Rialto. Oh, not on Rialto. Why do you keep mentioning Rialto?
Lijiang Tower.
On Lijiang Tower.
Yep.
So we saw them coming out with a 2-2-2 just about every time, even running it into Ghost. And I feel like this map is more of a friendly map to the 2-2-2 meta, but it seems like Asylum Gaming is going to be bringing it out and doing it just as well as Blackout did. Maybe even a little bit better, coming into the second point.
Well, let's see if they can continue to make it happen. Here comes the Primal Rage out from Dragon Blade X right there, trying to get some damage and take down Commando in the backline. Ends up getting anti-nated, but not able to take them out of the fight. Sparrow killing his brother one more time. Celery with the Storm Arrow, as Soul Consumer just consuming the souls of Blue Moose now on the Tracer and Soul. Dragon Blade finally able to take out Commando, but Soul Consumer taking down Dragon Blade X as well. Now 4 minutes remaining on the clock. They've still got, they've actually got not very far to push the rest of this payload.
Now, if you look at it, that's 2 headshots, which is impressive in and of itself. But if you really want to hype even more what Soul Consumer just did, the double headshot onto the Ana Tracer is beautiful. Tracer's got one of the smallest hitboxes in the game, and so does Ana. Ana's hitbox is also weird. It's a little bit off-center because of the way she keeps her scope in. She leans her head a little bit. In fact, it's so difficult that top-tier Widows use her to practice with their aim. But this Dragon doesn't need aim. Let's see what it does.
Woo! Ends up getting a double kill there for Sparrows. Volte following up on Dragon Blade X as well. It's now a 3v6 fight on the objective as they're going to go ahead and try to chase down Soul. Soul trying to figure out a way to escape, ends up backing out the wrong direction, or actually I think gets booped back by Windstar right there to the rest of the team. Now 3 minutes remaining on the clock, and a lot of distance needs to be covered now, about half of the distance as that payload continues to move in reverse.
Now, because Asylum is switching up so much, they're not going to be keeping their ultimates. Blue Moose just switched from Tracer and then to Zarya and now to Widowmaker. So there's going to be no ultimate there, and even switching onto the Baptiste, although his ult builds very fast. We're going to be seeing a Dragon Blade in from Celery.
Woo! Celery going into the backline, very low health though, ends up getting taken down by Soul Consumer as the Nano now coming out for the Zarya Luminos, working their way into the backline, takes down Dragon Blade X as Dragon Blade getting a double kill right there. It is now a 3v3 fight on the objective. 2 healers and a tank versus 2 healers and a tank. This is the kind of action you're looking for. Soul Consumer able to get back in the fight very quickly though. Takes down Blue Moose, the invincibility field, trying to keep the team up, but it's not going to be enough. Celery able to take down Soul Consumer as the Shatter coming in for Dragon Blade gets the double kill right there. Sparrow taking down Eden as Soul follows up on Zavolte and Sparrow right there. Dragon Blade X going to take down Commando, and that's going to be objective number 2. And actually, let me correct that name. That is Commando. Commando. It's like Naya in the middle of the name. That Y is throwing me off, man.
Commando?
Yes,
Windstar.
Commando.
Why you gotta put these random Ys?
What's all the
in
Ys?
name, man?
What's with all the Ys, folks?
Come on, making our lives harder.
All right, 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock right now as Asylum Gaming pushing into the corner to the final area of point 3. Soul Consumer consuming Big Cheese as Sparrow ends up taking down Celery once again. Or actually, it's Blue Moose now on the Genji. Luminos following up on Dragon Blade X right there as they now reach the 2 minute, 15 second mark of their fight, and the payload's back in reverse.
One of the biggest things to be looking at here is Asylum has now built up a bunch of ultimates for them. They've almost got probably going to be the Nano Visor. They've got the Amplification Matrix, which is really not that big a deal, but Biggie Cheese's Self-Destruct could be. An ultimate coming out from the side of Blackout, and they do have a lot to be working with here, though. So the ultimates from Asylum shouldn't be as big of a problem as long as Asylum does not manage it as well as they could be.
I always love that stun kill right there when someone's like slept and then they get stunned again and then they just stand up and then they sit back down. It's just like, oh.
It's like those moments when you wake up in the middle of the night and you realize, I should be sleeping. And you
I wake up and I sit down. I wake up and I sit down.
One of the downsides of the immortality field is not actually physical, it's psychological. A lot of people went inside it. They feel completely safe, and the Reinhardt pushed up there with his shield down, got slept, and then shattered, which was a big mistake for the rest of the team because the immortality field was a really easy pickoff for the team after this had happened. Grab's going to come in here.
Oh, huge grab. Dragons coming in from the sky, but the invincibility field gonna go ahead and keep everybody up. Here comes the Nano onto Rhine. A shatter now out for Zavolte right there. Doesn't end up cleaning up anyone but Eden as Blue Moose coming in with the Dragon Blade. Ends up getting Commando and Soul Consumer right there. Sparrow following up onto Blue Moose though. So 30 seconds remaining on the clock. The payload almost at its final destination. Zavolte really trying to hold things up with Commando staying in spawn to try to keep them up as much as possible, but Dragon Blade gonna take them out of the fight rather early with the help of Soul. Eden following up on Soul Consumer. Here comes the Attack Visor out from Celery, looking to clean up anybody coming out of spawn. That's a 1, that's a 2, and Blue Moose makes it 3, taking down Luminos and gaining the objective just before overtime ticks away.
Asylum Gaming, as I previously mentioned, have been making a lot of switches in the middle of this match, which meant that they almost never had the ultimate advantage, but they knew how to play around it, which is the nice thing. Coming into this, Blackout definitely had the ult advantage in just about every single fight, and actually I would argue that when looking at it, I think Zavolte was a better Reinhardt than Dragon Blade, but there was no follow-up in a lot of the shatters. Dragon Blade seemed to get outplayed, especially when they were dueling with the Nano Boost on third point here. Zavolte saw a minuscule second where Dragon Blade was a little bit out of position and managed to take a full man 4 shatter, but because of where he was not able to follow up on it and only ended up getting a pickoff onto the Baptiste, and that ended up not winning them the fight. So as we move into this second portion, we're going to be seeing if Blackout can take advantage of their ult advantage every single fight.
I agree with you there. I was seeing a lot of shatters coming in from Zavolte, but as you said, there wasn't really a lot of follow-up on there, and it's not like they couldn't have done it. They had the Ana with Commando, they had Soul Consumer, like they had those characters that could reach out and get those kills. I think maybe the shatters just might have been at bad times if they had someone in the backline from Asylum Gaming. But let's see if Asylum Gaming can hold the defense just as well as they held that offense. 7.6 seconds remaining on the clock after point 3 is taken, and I'm not for certain what they're doing. They're like all the way up on the high ground, and the payload is just moving right now in favor of Team Blackout. And I'm not for certain what we're seeing here. Blue Moose going to get the first pick on the Sparrow though, as they drop down onto the objective. It looks like Dragon Blade X going to try to take and hug that corner with the shield almost down. Gonna need to charge that back up, as now we see the Widow v Soldier battle. Blue Moose versus Soul Consumer. It has been a battle between these two all night so far. And now we're going to see Zavolte go ahead and push in with the rest of the team. 3 minutes remaining on the clock as we see Sparrow go ahead and take to the air. Going to take out Blue Moose very early on in the fight, allowing Soul Consumer to take to the high ground as well. But it's not going to help them out very much in the tunnel as they start moving their way about halfway through the tunnel. We're going to see Soul Consumer and Sparrow take the high ground, and Zavolte and the rest of the team take the low ground, and they will get to Scotland before tea as Windstar ends up taking down Biggie Cheese. Zavolte following up on Eden right there. The payload's going to make its way into objective number 1 with about 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock, unless somebody can drop down and stop it, and that ain't going to happen.
Now, moving into this fight, you can see exactly what I was talking about before. A couple switches in. Blue Moose taking out Soul Consumer, just completely proving my point here. Soul Consumer had the ultimate up, and they had the ultimate advantage, but Blue Moose just outplayed him purely here. And their switches came in, so Blue Moose did not have the ultimate. And there's now they've just about evened it up. We're going to see if that can help them moving into this next fight when the Nano Boost is going down.
Oh, here comes the Nano Boost onto Dragon Blade, but the Transcendence from Windstar going to hold everybody up. That's getting damage. Oh, here's the Anti-Nade and the Barrage along with the follow-up Shatter. Sparrow gets 2, Zavolte gets 3, Luminos following up for 4 right there. The only one still alive right now is Biggie Cheese, and ends up getting taken out of the fight. Blue Moose swapping over to the Widow now, ends up picking off Soul Consumer at the start of that fight. Celery still on the Soldier 76. Almost got picked off right there. That was a really close call.
Biggie Cheese is coming up on the Graviton Surge here, which is really the fight-winning ultimate, but Luminos already has it. Neither team really has a support ultimate, so they can survive completely. Eden, now with their only chance surviving this grab is now gone, but maybe no.
Oh, but we're not seeing a follow-up. We're seeing grab-on-grab action, and thanks to one grab wearing out before the other, Asylum Gaming does have the advantage here. Sparrow getting the double kill in the backline, takes down Soul and Celery right there as they continue to push forward. Here comes a Shatter, double, takes down Zavolte as well as Windstar. Windstar falls, but Zavolte now has the Nano going in on Dragon Blade and looking to take out Biggie Cheese as well. The Nano wears off, and the payload is moving into its objective point with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Soul Consumer taking another one as Eden falls, but Biggie Cheese going to take down Zavolte. The only one left near the point is Commando and Luminos as they go ahead and pull back and wait for their Rhine to respawn. That's going to waste some time off the clock. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining.
Now, one of the key mistakes here.
Whoa!
Wow,
Blue Moose with a triple as they retreat. Oof.
One of the key mistakes here that Blackout made walking into this is their Reinhardt advanced all the way in, and they had Soul and Celery each perched on an individual platform. Celery on the back left going towards the second point, and Soul on the back right, the lower entrance of it. So the dilemma was really here faced by Zavolte. If he faced his shield towards Celery, Soul could sleep him. And if he faced his shield towards Soul, Celery could melt him with the repeating rifle. So they never took care of Celery on the high ground, which is really their fatal mistake at the end here. And a boop might just give them the positional advantage up on this high ground.
Well, let's see if they can make it happen. Now comes the charge in from Dragon Blade, ends up missing it as they fight on the objective. Sparrow ends up taking down Celery to start things off. Blue Moose looking to get that pick, and it's going to be a headshot right there onto Sparrow. It is now between Soul Consumer and Blue Moose in the air as the Graviton coming out once again for Biggie Cheese, but a counter Shatter is going to come out as well as a Nano and Transcendence for Windstar and Commando, but it's not going to be enough. It gets wasted during the Graviton. Sparrow is able to take out Blue Moose, but Blue Moose taking out Soul Consumer right before that. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Eden back into the fight to keep the team up and happy, and Blue Moose does have the spawn advantage to go ahead and get back into the fight very quickly. So Team Blackout really got to figure out a strategy to get past this ironclad defense that Asylum Gaming has going on right now.
Absolutely, the barrage is going to maybe change.
Ooh! The barrage did take down Dragon Blade, but the sleep and the soldier ends up taking down Sparrow. Soul Consumer now in on the Tracer, takes down Blue Moose as Luminos follows up on Celery. This looks like the advantage they needed as they go ahead and clean up the rest of the objective. 2 minutes, 10 seconds now remaining on the clock to push into objective 3.
And now what we're going to be seeing is a couple swaps from both sides is going to be giving probably Asylum, I would say, the ultimate advantage here, with the Nano Visor being insanely crucial, but Lumos does have the grab, and Zavolte does definitely have the Shatter, so they're going to be reversing this ultimate advantage here. Spiro looking for some picks just to build his up as well, possibly the pair with the grab. We're going to be seeing if he can get any picks here.
All right, here comes the Nanoed Rhine, looking to get some damage is Dragon Blade X. The barrier is down. Zavolte now has the Nano, but also has Shatter as Zavolte takes down Dragon Blade X with the Fire Strike. We're going to see Shatter into Shatter as Eden tries to keep Zavolte away. It looks like they're going to hold on to those ultimates, only using the Nano to push forward. Well, I guess Soul Consumer using the Pulse Bomb didn't end up landing on much of anything, though. Here comes Celery with the Tac Visor as the Transcendence comes out. Here comes a Graviton out from Luminos right there as Eden able to get the kill on Commando. Bloom is following up on Soul Consumer. Sparrow the double dash kill onto Celery, and Blue Moose make that triple when the blade comes out, ends up taking down Biggie Cheese. Luminos following up on Soul is a 2v1, make that 2v2 fight right now as Sparrow takes down Eden. Celery trying to stay up as long as possible to distract May. Now coming out for Blue Moose, looking to try to hold on as long as possible to try to get the team back into the fight with 40 seconds remaining. Luminos coming in, takes down Celery. Dragon Blade ends up hitting the Shatter, takes down Luminos. Soul Consumer getting the double kill onto Dragon Blade, and Blue Moose's Soul follows up on Soul Consumer. Biggie Cheese ends up taking down Sparrow as Windstar follows up on Biggie Cheese. Is back and forth right now as Commando trying to hold on to the objective with Windstar, ends up getting taken down by Celery. Commando following up on Eden right there is back and forth between these two teams, and one of them doesn't even have spawn advantage, which makes it crazy. 10 seconds remaining on the clock as Blue Moose comes back in, taking down Zavolte. The wall is up as we see the Diva for Luminos trying to come in to distract on the point. Here comes the Nano Tracer trying to come in and do something with the Pulse Bomb, ends up missing, but Soul coming in with the Pulse Bomb takes down Commando. Here comes the Blade out from Sparrow looking to land as Soul Consumer, being the distracting Tracer, ends up getting kills in the backline and secures an overtime. Round 2 is complete, and we are going to see a round 3 and 4 from both of these teams.
Now, what you guys saw at the very top, it showed that in overtime when they were contesting this, on the progress bar, it showed about 0.88 meters, and that's very, very close, but I will tell you that that was not actually representing the distance. The 88 was representing the amount of words per minute that Captain Jack was actually just speaking. So maybe Overwatch needs to get their system fixed a little bit. I like the speedometer here. It's very helpful for us, but we're going to be seeing if they can replicate that kind of performance going back and forth, each one finishing in just about overtime. Asylum Gaming does have about a 7-second advantage, but seeing as they're both on the attack here with overtime, it could definitely go either way. It's not a one fight for either side yet.
Well, I think what it's going to come down to is the way, not only the way that teams are using ultimates, but how they're taking the fight when they're on the attack. We're going to see Team Blackout come in on the attack once again, and what we saw on this very first point was very hard for Asylum Gaming to hold that. They took this high ground, which they're doing again, and I don't understand why. But Celery taking down Sparrow right out the gate with the Helix Rocket. Sparrow gets res back up thanks to Commando, and it looks like they're going a dive composition this time around with Windstar on Lucio, pushing the payload from behind. 40 seconds remaining, and they have not dropped onto the payload yet. They're looking to fight on the high ground while the Lucio goes ahead and pushes the payload as far as they can get it. And this is the downfall that we are seeing from Asylum Gaming. They're not focused on the payload, they're focused on getting kills. And that's not what you want on a payload map. You've got to keep the payload as close as you can to that beginning point. 15 seconds remaining, and they are now countering the point as Blue Moose using the stun and Fan the Hammer to take down Zavolte right there. It is now a 3v4 fight on the objective as Commando ends up bringing Zavolte back into the fight. Soul Consumer and Sparrow end up taking down 2, make that 3 as Celery falls to the scope of Soul Consumer. Luminos following up on Biggie Cheese right there, and Blue Moose gonna fall to the Valkyrie of Commando right there. That is going to be huge for them as overtime ticks away. The payload is going to hit objective number 1. Soul Consumer taking down Celery and Soul already as they come out of spawn. Now, as you know, as you may or may not know, as overtime ticks away, that overtime bar is going to clear faster and faster as they push that payload further and further. Now, the problem is that Asylum Gaming just needs to get them off the payload. They don't need to kill them. They just need to get them off, and right now, Windstar is the only one on the payload. If they would just go to payload and take him off the payload like that, oh,
that was almost a win there.
Commando coming in at the very last second. Ends up saving the day, but the shatter and the scope from Blue Moose gonna end up cleaning this up, and this is it. Round 3 is completed, and now it is going to be Asylum Gaming's chance to see what they've got on the attack.
Score 4-3.
Oof. That was huge. See, that was, ooh. Comniano. Comniando. Oh, that definitely makes more sense when you say it that way. Yeah, say Niando. Comniando. I forever will now have an Italian accent while saying that. But back to Asylum Gaming, 1 minute 7 seconds on the clock. Now this is going to be the difficult part for Asylum Gaming. They had a much harder time on this first objective point getting past there because unlike Team Blackout played a lot more on the payload from the beginning, vice what we saw come out from Asylum Gaming, and they're going with the bunker comp. So I am very interested to see how this is going to play off. What do you think there, Platinum?
I'm not entirely focused. I'm just having fun with this 10-minute conversation with Comniando on how to pronounce his name.
It's just back and forth in the chat right now. All right, well, let's go ahead and see if Asylum Gaming can pull off a second victory before the half, or if we'll see 1-1 going into halftime. The Bastion Orisa coming out from Zavolte and Soul Consumer going right down. Here's the Holt up into the sky, ends up taking down the shield, but the invincibility field going to keep everybody up. Commando ends up taking down Soul's invincibility field, so we got Baptiste versus Baptiste as they go back to the high ground, the other side of the high ground. Once again, the payload going to go ahead and push through. The shield going down as Soul Consumer consumes Soul and Dragon Blade X. 30 seconds remaining as the res tries to come in for Dragon Blade. Ends up coming in at the very last second. Luminos trying to fight on the objective, ends up taking down Dragon Blade X as Blue Moose taking down Soul Consumer in the air. Windstar getting the res back onto Soul Consumer as Sparrow takes down Celery. And it's looking to try to follow up on Biggie Cheese right there. Soul Consumer does end up getting Blue Moose. The payload moving backwards now is not going to make it to its final destination. Team Blackout walking away with their first victory of the night here on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Now that was a very close game along with the other one. And even though it might not indicate so in their previous scores, I do believe this is a very well-matched team here. And we were talking about it earlier. Be a one-sided game, which nobody likes to see, because when we saw the map scores, but the manager of Asylum Gaming messaged me, and then I realized where I recognized him from. I've casted this team before, and they did extremely poorly And then when he came in, we actually asked Adrift, the manager, to come in after the game for an interview. And when he did his interview, he talked to us about how 2 of their crucial members lost power immediately before the game, and they had to put in last-minute subs that were not on their team. And unfortunately, one of them was their shot caller, and they said they were working on everything and getting to the point. And now I can see what you meant, Adrift. You are doing, and you and your team are doing a fantastic job, very, very close, and the maps and the match scores do not tell everything in this game.
It sure does not. It is 1-1 right now going into the half between Asylum Gaming and Team Blackout. So we're going to go ahead and take our 5-minute break. Go ahead, use the restroom, get a drink, whatever you need. We'll be back with more Rose League action here in Diamond Division in about 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rose League Diamond Division. I'm Captain Jack, your play-by-play here with Platinum Thistle, our color caster for the evening. And it looks like we're already going into our next match, which is going to be on King's Row.
I'm super excited to be seeing this, and you know, the King's Row. I casted a match yesterday with the where the King's Row Saints just completely dominated on this, and I'm hoping to see a repeat performance from at least one of these teams here. The Reinhardt in that game, I cannot remember what the Reinhardt's name was for that game, but he did a fantastic job just landing shatter after shatter, and in the one team fight for point 2, he landed 5 shatters in one team fight, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but it was incredibly impressive, and I'm hoping to see that repeated in this game right here. And just a quick reminder to everyone watching, you're tuning back in now, remember to go and hit the subscribe button. As we speak, I'm using my Prime subscription to subscribe to the Rose League Twitch channel, and that is exactly what I just did right now. I can confirm it. I'm recording. I just used my free subscription, so I expect a lot of you to do the same. Show some support for this channel, and I really enjoy it here. So let's keep this going. Captain Jack, what are you looking forward to in this match?
I'm just looking forward to the way that these two teams have been working in parallel with one another all night. And it looks like Soul Consumer already starting off on the Bastion? What? I mean, normally that's kind of like a wasted at the last minute kind of thing, but I mean, this must be a comp that Team Blackout is really looking to use. So, let's see if they can go ahead and make it happen.
Absolutely.
This will definitely be interesting. Oh, and they're going to go right around the bunker. They don't even care. They don't even care. They're going straight to the objective right there.
You can't shoot me if you can't see me.
Yep, can't shoot me if you can't see me. Celery going to get the first kill onto Luminos right there. They continue to stay on the high ground. Sparrow looking to try to get some action from the high ground and distract on point as well. Second tick already for them as they go ahead and drop down to the side. They're not the only one left on the objective right now is Windstar with the pistol, but gonna get taken out by Soul. Soul triple kill right there, and that is going to be a quick first point capture for the side of Asylum Gaming. I really don't think that was a good team choice for the side of Team Blackout.
Soul there just being a greedy Grinch, taking half the enemy team away from them. That's the DPS's job, buddy. You're supposed to heal. You can't do everything at once. But apparently he can. Taking 3 kills in that game, and his ultimate is already up to 85%. Transcendence is probably going to be online for the next fight, which is going to be huge, seeing as Luminos is only at 13% on the Zarya grab, having just switched off.
Want to give a shout out to 07 right there in the chat saying these casters are killing it. Well, thank you so much. We're not professionals, but we try to do our best right here. Soul Consumer already taking Soul out of the fight. It seems to be a recurring trend, but Blue moves with the quadruple Dragon Blade coming into the backline of Team Blackout right there. Just good. No matter how many souls Soul Consumer consumes, it's just not enough for Blue Moose. It's just not enough.
Now, that was a fantastic Dragon Blade for the side of Asylum Gaming, and I'm really glad to see Blue Moose finally taking some of the kills that were stolen by Soul earlier in the match. Just taking charge of the situation and pushing them just about all the way to the second point here.
I am just so surprised how aggressive we are seeing Asylum Gaming right now. They are definitely looking to change their score around with 0.65 meters to push into Objective 2. Diva Bomb going into the backline and Zavolte's down. Double kill coming in for Biggie Cheese onto Windstar and Luminos. Pharaoh falling to Eden, and Objective 2 claimed with 5 minutes 20 seconds on the clock. I do want to call back to the chat a random clown. It's okay. It's okay. Just go ahead and hit that follow button. That's really all the support that we could ask from you all. You don't have to have money to be here with us. We don't expect you to spend your hard-earned money if you don't want to or if you can't, but we do love your love and support, as that EMP does, coming in from Soul Changer, or Soul Consumer right there. But it looks like Soul's Transcendence gonna save a majority of the team as Biggie Cheese is getting bigger and bigger and nom-nomming its way right through Team Blackout's defense. It is now Zavolte against Dragon Blade right there, coming in for the charge, ends up missing, but the charge onto Zavolte hits and goes all the way back to their spawn as Dragon Blade takes them out of the fight. The payload currently moving in reverse, but they've got 5 minutes, 20 seconds to make it move, and they're moving their way right back in. Windstar keeping it quick as the Nano Blade coming out for Sparrow, looking to clean up as much of the point as possible, but the V-Drop's going to come in from Eden, try to dissolve that blade, and it ends up working. One ultimate and trade for two as the beat drop now coming in for Windstar as well as the Graviton for Luminos. They're trying to hold on as long as possible, but Blue Moose now popping the blade, ends up coming in, take down Windstar. Zavolte, Dragon Blade following up on Luminos as the rally gets popped for Celery right there. Eden's gonna take down Soul Consumer as Dragon Blade gets the Fire Strike kill onto Kamnyando, and that's going to be it, folks. That's it.
Beautiful play there.
Wow.
Soul did end up throwing in his Transcendence into an anti-nade, but there was just not enough follow-up. The healing was negated, but there wasn't enough follow-up to take advantage of it. And even though a lot of Soul's ultimate didn't end up going to proper use, they ended up surviving most of it, and they came back with Lucio beat drop just at the end, countering a fantastic Nano Blade that would have otherwise cut out their team. It was well timed, well positioned, but the Lucio sound barrier was just there to protect them. Dragon Blade doing a fantastic job on the aggressive tank there, reminding me again of the King's Row Saints tank Paragon from last game. I finally got the chance to find the name. I found the VOD from the other day.
I saw all the names. Remember it, Paragon.
Oh, they're yelling at me in chat. Oh, no.
In the chat. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We love when you're here to not only correct us, but to cheer. We love to have you cheer and remind us of things, because with 79 different teams, there's no way we could remember them all. It's just impossible. I try every time to remember as many as I can, but sometimes it's just impossible. Now for the side of, now I'm forgetting the team names. That's how
Blackout and Asylum.
Blackout and Asylum. I knew it started with an A. Asylum Gaming now coming in with Blue Moose on the May. Interesting pick, but it can work as a good bunker composition. It looks like they're going for that Snoats comp right there. Blue Moose looking to cut off Zavolte, ends up missing just barely though as Zavolte backs up, and it looks like the team's gonna get split up as Zavolte already taking down Blue Moose. They got the Fire Mercy in the sky with Sparrow and Kamanyando, and it looks like they might be able to hold, but it's not going to be enough. Celery taking down Zavolte, and Luminos falling to Dragon Blade is going to go ahead and push them back past the choke point. And it looks like Soul Consumer is going to have to consume a couple more souls before they can push into Objective Alpha.
Now, I'm really looking forward to an ult combination here from Sparrow and then the damage boost, because I think if he positions himself correctly, he can take out Blue Moose before he even realizes and is able to use the D-Matrix and just get a couple of really nice frags out. And we're going to be seeing if they can build that up and do that really soon, with Blue Goose dropping really low.
Oh, Consumer ends up taking down, Soul Consumer taking down Celery right there at the end of that fight, just able to take down the barrier just enough to get that hit in. For 2 minutes 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Sparrow able to take down Eden, as well as the Valkyrie comes in for Kamanyando, and it looks like they may be able to pull it off as the Volte and Dragon Blade end up getting countering charges on one another. Dragon Blade ends up falling to Zavolte right there as Sparrow ends up taking down Soul. The Shatter coming in from Zavolte ends up cleaning up Biggie Cheese and Celery right there as they push back into the objective. And with about 2 minutes remaining on the clock and Blue Moose falling to Luminos, it looks like we're going to see Team Blackout take Objective Alpha and start moving that payload.
Have you ever thought about how absolutely insanely violent Reinhardt's charge is?
Very.
Just like crushing an enemy into the wall. It's gotta be hard to clean the suit after that, right? like just In that last game especially, and that last point take especially, bits of celery have just got to be stuck inside the armor, right? But moving into this, I'm oh, a massive pick from Blue Moose.
And it looks like Blue Moose gonna start things off, take down Soul Consumer early on. Here comes the rally as they look to clean up the rest, but Sparrow getting the kill onto Blue Moose. Soul following up onto Luminos right there as they push into the spawn area past the choke. It looks like they're gonna go ahead and push Team Blackout all the way past the choke and back into spawn. With 3 minutes 40 seconds remaining, we're going to see now Sparrow and Soul Consumer back on the high ground. Soul Consumer getting power boosted, trying to get those picks on the healers that are going to be finding their way back into the match, especially Eden right now. Here comes the Barrage Graviton combo from Sparrow and Luminos right there, and it lands a double kill. Windstar and Zavolte taking a double as well right there. Blue Moose is able to pick off Soul Consumer once again, but Sparrow gonna take down Soul. The only one left near the point is Blue Moose, and I'm trying to figure out where exactly they went. Oh, there they are. That sneaky spider. That sneaky spider. That sneaky spider lady. Always sneaking around. Well, now we see Soul Consumer. Oh, yep, gonna take that out real quick. When you got that Mercy Pocket, you can do anything. Soul Consumer gonna get the double pick onto Eden and Soul right there. They are under the time bank that we are seeing for the side of Asylum Gaming, but they are not out of the fight, not by a long shot, as Soul Consumer and Windstar take down Dragon Blade and Celery right there. They are pushing into Objective 2 with 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. That's going to add another 1 minute 30 seconds and give them 4 minutes to take Objective 3 here in the final area. Blue Moose picking off Soul Consumer again. It has just been an oof battle for the ages between those two. And Soul Consumer is losing it against Blue Moose, but not against everybody else.
Now, one thing I would like to comment on moving into this game, or moving into this match, is more switches coming up from Asylum at the third point, which is probably good. But look at the ult economy for Blackout. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to use it in this fight. But look at the ult economy for Blackout. They've got 3 already up and 2 more coming online. So that's going to be something definitely to watch out for. I want to give a quick shout out again to the Kings Row Saints just blowing up our chat right now. We got Jadak in here, and I will say I am very sorry. I did forget Paragon's name. I can say he is probably my favorite main tank to watch right now. Out of any tank, I'll say Paragon.
Oh, gotta interrupt you there, Biggie Cheese.
Here.
Coming in with the Graviton and the anti-nade, but it's not gonna be enough as the beat drop came in from Windstar just before that. Here comes the amplification barrier in front of the Graviton, allowing Blue Moose to take down Sparrow. Soul Consumer, though, getting double picks on Eden and Biggie Cheese right there. Yando bringing Sparrow back into the fight, but Blue Moose is going to shut down quick, as well as Luminos. The light is going to go out for the side of Asylum Gaming right now as the payload is being pushed in by Blackout into its final resting place. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock.
Now moving into this, I'll keep an emphasis on Blue. Oh my.
Wow.
If the stream is not following him, it should be. It's the Blue Moose show out here. In addition to that, Widowmaker's always a good person to follow just because they've always got full view of the point. Trying to get another pick here onto Windstar. Trying to be a little bit sneaky there. Trying to stall out the point, maybe get a back cap. But it just did not work out and ends up sending him back to spawn for another 10-second wait time. Didn't end up being worth it with a massive pick on the Soul Consumer. That's something you don't want to miss there.
Blue Moose has just got Soul Consumer in their sights right now. Every time they're in the fight, it's just boom, immediate headshot onto that Widow. It's like they know where they're going to be at all times, and it's honestly a little unsettling to just know you're going to get picked off over and over and over again. But it looks like the battle going between them right now as Windstar gets the boop kill onto Celery. Blue Moose falling to a reflect from Sparrow right there. So now that's going to give free reign to Soul Consumer, coming out with the sights and taking control of the high ground. They're going to look to try to keep everyone in spawn as much as possible. Luminos following up on Soul, but Soul gets the kill onto Zavolte with the anti right there. The invincibility field going to hold up during the sleep. Soul Consumer now getting that charge back, ends up taking down Blue Moose, but Eden coming up with the high jump, ends up taking down Soul Consumer with the triple bullet burst, and Sparrow gonna follow up onto Biggie Cheese. Here comes the Nano onto Eden along with the amplification barrier. That's gonna be a ridiculous amount of damage right there. Doesn't look like it's gonna land on much of anything though, as Windstar comes in with the beat drop. 25 seconds remaining on the clock as Blue Moose taking down Zavolte and Soul Consumer right there. This is ridiculous between these two teams. Right now, it looks like Windstar trying to hide, ends up getting taken down by Blue Moose anyway, not realizing that the sights had already been popped by that Widowmaker. 10 seconds remaining on the clock, and the Tac Visor comes out from Celery to try to hold them through. We're gonna see Zavolte charge all the way through and at least get overtime ticking away, but gonna get taken out very quickly. Windstar getting caught up in the Graviton Surge, and as overtime ticks away, the victory is going to Asylum Gaming, now 2-1 after the half here on Kings Row.
I'm super happy to see really good work done by both sides here. Are you seeing that? Is that glitch happening for you as well?
What glitch?
Then I guess not. It was just like a weird dysmorphed version of Farah on my screen. It looked like it had been crumpled by a trash compactor.
Oh goodness.
That was very peculiar. But looking into Spiro here, or Sparrow, god damn it.
Not now, now you're saying it.
Looking at Sparrow's play here, fantastic job done. 17,000 damage total, which is 40% of their team's total damage. Beautiful job. But to describe what immense amount of damage must have been pumped out there, Zenyatta's Transcendence does 800 healing a second, which means it must have been more than that, at least 801 damage per second, way more because the melting was done faster than that.
Absolutely.
So just an insane amount of damage being pummeled into the ground there. And we're going to be going into map number 4 with 2-1, not 3-1. Yep. 2-1 for the side of Asylum Gaming. It's either going to be Paris or Volskaya, and it looks like Zavolte has chosen Volskaya for his team. Team Blackout will be going with Volskaya. And I'm going to ask you this question again. What do you think are the advantages for Team Blackout on Volskaya? Why did they choose this?
Well, I think Volskaya is just a more commonly played map. Paris is very new, has a lot of different advantages and disadvantages compared to other maps. So if they don't have their footing as well as they do on Volskaya yet, I could understand why they are picking that. And plus, if they're wanting to go with the bunker comp like they did before, it could be something that they can pull off here better than how they did on Kings Row. Honestly, I feel like Team Blackout might be kicking themselves a little bit of what they did on First Point during Kings Row. Just the bunker comp is good, but it's not as deadly as a Goats composition is on the defense, and that really would have worked out better for them had they picked that against Asylum Gaming and the way they're playing tonight.
One of the biggest snowball factors was, in fact, Blackout choosing to run that bunker comp First Point, because they just lost it so fast. And that's really where they lost their attack speed too. When they attacked, they got stalled for about 2 minutes, which isn't bad at all. But compared to Asylum Gaming's almost 30-second time, it's not very good, and it's definitely going to dampen their spirits going into the end of it, which is something definitely that you need to consider.
Well, you got to think of the snowball effect of that as well, because they ended up swapping off characters. They don't have ultimates build up now because now they're starting on new characters, and they're going into a second point payload push section without any ultimates to help them defend against the other team who is definitely coming in with ultimates. So all in all, it just puts you at a huge disadvantage, and unless they were able to hold off that third point a lot better, if they had kind of that wherewithal to be like, okay, our big thing is to hold point 3, like that's our main goal, then I would have been okay with them kind of goofing off on objective A. But that Asylum Gaming just pushed right through anything that was being put out from Team Blackout. So I really hope Blackout has a better idea of what they're going to go with this time around on the defense, and it looks like they do. I am actually enjoying some of the picks that are coming out here. I would
never mind. Soul
maybe
from the Widow to the Bastion again, and although it's a completely different point, it could way, and it's most likely what they've been practicing. It has not been working at all for them throughout this matchup. And Asylum might be pretty excited to see this due to the fact that it looks like they're running Sombra Goats into this mix-up.
Well, I think the thing that will work for them, though, is they do have Sparrow and Commando on the Baptiste and the Junkrat. Junkrat deals out a whole bunch of damage, and it can be very close up damage. So you have that ability to rain damage down from above, as well as get that counter onto the objective as well. Right now, Luminos is being that distraction as they get first tick on the point for Asylum. Celery taking down Luminos and Commando falling to Soul right there. We got Blue Moose in the back line on the Sombra trying to take some down as Celery gets the double kill onto Windstar and Zavolte, and Soul Consumer falls to Biggie Cheese. It looks like once again that composition not going to work out for them. Sparrow the only one near that objective and ends up getting taken down by Soul.
It sounded like you were playing Clue there. You said Blue Moose taking him out in the back line with the Sombra. I declare I am the winner. Soul Consumer with the double, though, into this fight.
Gotta love that dynamite. It blows, I tell ya. Windstar following up on Dragon Blade X right there as the Volte, and Windstar again taking down Biggie Cheese, and Eden there looking to lock down this point as much as possible. Just almost barely had first tick on the point, but with 6 minutes 30 seconds, not even a tick can be had for the side of Team Blackout. They've really got to lock this point down.
Absolutely. It looks like we've got some dabs in the chat going, so let's get some more in there. But for right now, Zavolte is holding that 61% Dragon Blade's 90% on the Fire Strike, bringing him up to 100%. Dragon Blade has the Shatter. EMP's going in.
Oh, that's going to shut that down very quick. Dragon Blade able to get the Fire Strike kill onto Windstar after that EMP. Soul and Biggie Cheese cleaning up the objective as Sparrow gets a Storm Arrow kill onto Soul. There are 4 Asylum Gaming still on the point as they take down Sparrow. Eden trying to keep them up on the objective as Commando comes in with the invincibility field. Is 1 tick, almost 2 ticks right now as they continue to fight. Luminos taking down Dragon Blade and Biggie Cheese falling to Soul Consumer. The only one left on the objective is Eden, and they're going to get eaten up by Zavolte with 5 minutes 30 seconds remaining and just almost barely a second tick on objective B.
Let's take a look right now, really at the ult economy for both teams. Again, I keep going back to this, but it's because it's super important. Biggie Cheese has that Graviton, and Soul has that Transcendence. 2 massive ultimates coming to the side, and Blues is going to try and build this up.
But it looks like the Dragon Strike's going to try to separate the team, but Soul going to use that Trans and Celery with the rally to go ahead and keep everybody up as they move into the objective rather quickly. The Trans now being popped by Windstar as we end up seeing one of their own fall, and a fat Shatter gonna come out from Dragon Blade right there. That may be enough, but Bob's gonna get popped for Soul Consumer. That's gonna be a triple kill from Soul Consumer with the help of Bob as Sparrow follows up on Soul, and that's gonna shut that push down with every ultimate from both teams being used in that fight.
It's like a cowboy version of Defran. With the help of Bob, I was able to pop off. And he certainly did. Going into this match, the 2 games, or the 2 maps even that I've seen Soul Consumer play Ashe, they've won. Well, not this one, but they're winning. They're doing well on Ashe this one, and the 1 map point on Lijiang that they won, Soul Consumer played Ashe, so this is a pretty good sign, and we're going to see a counter charge come in here.
Oh yeah, the counter charge comes in as the Volte takes down Dragon Blade. Luminos also falling Soul, but Celery gonna come back in, take down Zavolte as well as Soul Consumer follows up on Celery. It's a 3v6 fight, make that 2v6 as Windstar finalizes Eden's death and Sparrow takes down the Biggie Cheese. 3 minutes 40 seconds remaining on the clock, and it seems like Team Blackout has got a lockdown on Objective B right now.
Absolutely, and one thing that I'm hoping to see here is that I'm hoping to see staggering of ultimates from Asylum in terms of their support ultimates. Soul has almost got the Transcendence. That would mean all 3 support ults. So what I'm looking for is Celery, Eden, and Soul all to pop their ultimates at different times to maintain their advantage when it's coming to the ult economy. Consumer is really gonna be wanting to get this Bob fast. Maybe Will with the grab.
Graviton Dragon Strike coming in, ends up getting the double kill onto Celery and Biggie Cheese right there. Soul Consumer following up with the Dynamite as Sparrow uses a Storm Arrow to finish off Dragon Blade, and Soul falls to their counter Windstar. 2 minutes 50 seconds now remaining on the clock, and Team Blackout just seems to have this completely locked down in their favor.
Blackout is definitely holding them. Blackout has made Asylum back out every single time they've pushed. Either that or they've killed them right out. But we do have to, again, the ultimates are definitely one-sided here. Almost all of the ultimates, except Biggie Cheese being demech'd by Soul Consumer. That's huge. He's going to have to get his mech back before they can do a serious push, or they're going to pretty much be coming into this with a 5v6. Baby Diva can't do much. And it's just a fantastic stalling opportunity from the side of Soul Consumer, who does have Bob up.
It looks like they're going to use the rally to try to distract. Here comes Bob and the beat drop in from Eden, as well as Soul Consumer right there. And a fat shatter is going to come in along with a counter shatter from Dragon Blade and Zavolte, but it looks like Zavolte is going to be the one to land as Sparrow following up with the Storm Arrow gets a double kill. Soul Consumer taking down Blue Moose, and Sparrow ends up taking down Soul. Biggie Cheese not able to get that mech back at the beginning of the fight, and with all of their ultimates now down except for Graviton, that is putting them in a dangerous position with only 1 minute 30 seconds remaining on the clock.
Now, exactly what did I say? I said that Celery, Soul, and Eden needed to stagger their ultimates. To be fair, though, they have switched off Celery now on the Genji and Soul on the Ana, but they did throw all of their ultimates in at once in that fight, and they had nothing to show for it. No more progress was made, and another minute was ticked down. They're going to be approaching this with 1, maybe 2 ultimates and 60 seconds left on the clock.
It may be something they're able to do now, though, with that dive composition getting into the objective. Eden able to take down Comandando's invincibility field. Here comes the trans out from Windstar, but the Diva Bomb might end up taking them out before that, but it's not going to be enough. Soul Consumer using the Dynamite to get a kill on to Dragon Blade with the help of Windstar. Soul Consumer taking down Eden as well right there as Zavolte gets the D-Mech on to Biggie Cheese, and Biggie Cheese gonna get super staggered right there. As that mini diva, you cannot do a whole lot right there. Luminos able to take down Biggie Cheese there at the end, gonna keep them very staggered. 20 seconds left on the clock. Still only 1 tick to be had for the side of Asylum Gaming. Dragon Blade ends up taking down Soul Consumer and Comanando at the start of that fight, though, so it's now 4v4 on the objective as Sparrow and Luminos tie things up. Here comes Biggie Cheese looking to try to take out Zavolte, but here comes the Bob out from Soul Consumer right there. It's looking to get damage, and Sparrow's cleaning up the kills on Celery and Soul. Dragon Blade coming in with the jump, takes down Soul Consumer as the shatter comes out for Zavolte, allows Sparrow to finish up onto Dragon Blade and Zavolte to take down Eden. Round 1 is going to go ahead and complete, and the only thing they have to do is get that second tick on Objective 2.
That was a fantastic turnaround from Blackout. There's just nothing more that you can say there. They shouldn't have run the composition that they did because Asylum Gaming's point presence and force rotation was beautiful. But looking into what Blackout is doing, they switched Soul Consumer to the Ashe. I'm going to keep saying it. The Ashe is a great pick for Soul Consumer. Seems to be doing a fantastic job. The bunker comp was not working. Keep Soul Consumer on the Ashe where you can. And we're going to be moving into the second point. With Blackout on attack, they have to get 64.1% of the point taken within the time bank, or else they're going to end up losing to Asylum Gaming. And if they win this, we're going to be going to a map 5.
Woohoo! First map 5 for us in season 2. Woohoo!
Hell yeah, man!
Oh yeah, I'm so ready for that. And it looks, I'm I don't know why. I hope they have a better plan for this bunker comp than Team Blackout did, but it looks like Blue Moose is going to be going with that Bastion as well. I'm not for certain where they're going to be setting up at, though. It looks like they've got Eden also on the Symmetra. Interesting.
Let me tell you why this is a better comp than what Blackout was running. Dragonblade has the freedom to be able to move down, and the shatter is going to be massive. But it's not only that. Orisa was a fine choice. Eden on the Symmetra is going to allow them to move and rotate between every single site with one use of the teleporter. And the rotation game was really what was the problem with Blackout. So if they can counter this with the bunker comp, it's going to be very well done here.
It could be huge. Let's see if they can make it happen. Teleport already up as they go ahead and switch position to the other high ground. We're going to find Celery down on the low ground, though. Ends up getting a little separated from the team, trying to find their way back up. Here comes the charge in from Dragonblade as we see Blue Moose get taken down by Sparrow. The res coming in from Celery to bring them back into the fight. Now that Soul has taken down Sparrow, that may be good enough to keep them on as Dragonblade takes down Comniando and Zavolte falls to Dragonblade as well. They're going to go ahead and push them past the choke. Celery requesting a pause. I think we might be having some issues for the side of, let's see. I'm not exactly gotta restart. Oh, it looks like Celery's rubber banding right now. Oof. That is rough right there. So as we go ahead and wait for them to come back in, let's go ahead and talk about the composition that they've got going on right now. So as we said, the bunker comp that they've got going right now is with Blue Moose and Eden on the Bastion and the Symmetra. It's working out well for them, but the big counter that they have to that they had to that, I should say, because now we're going to see Soul Consumer and Sparrow come in on different heroes, was the Pharah Mercy. Sparrow was able to take Blue Moose out of the fight as soon as we saw Dragonblade fall to the point and try to get some objective kills.
Yeah, one of the biggest things we got to look at here is Celery was the Mercy for Asylum Gaming, and I'm looking back at the pause here, and it was paused at 30% ult charge, which is really quite unfortunate. So moving back to look at it, what we're gonna do is after this pause, we're gonna take a look at it. But one of the biggest things here is that they've lost their Mercy player's ultimate. So when the game comes back into play, their Mercy player just there's a complete reset on the Valk, which is going to be super important to this bunker comp because of how crucial it is to the actual play of it. They're so close together in this bunker comp that Valkyrie is going to be an amazing ultimate. And since they don't have it anymore, it's about a 30% loss, which could be huge.
It is absolutely huge for them. So let's go ahead. We're still waiting. It looks like Celery is back in the game. Let's see what we can do. It looks like Celery's ready to go. The rubber banding is fixed, hopefully. They've got 3 minutes on the clock, so now Asylum Gaming gonna be down a hero, and it's gonna be their Mercy, which could be huge. Which could be huge for them as they go ahead and push back into Objective Alpha. We're gonna see now more of a dive composition come out for their team. Lumino still staying on the Zarya, but Zavolte now switching to the Winston to try to get that high ground advantage, looking to get the kill on to, excuse me, Dragonblade right there, but Blue Moose getting the double kill onto Luminos and Windstar. Might change it into their favor as the barrier comes up for Eden right there. That's going to go ahead and push back Team Blackout once again as Biggie Cheese taking down Comniando after the fight is already over.
Doesn't seem to be missing a beat there. Celery is now up to 61% on the ultimate. Unfortunately, it would have been about a 90%. But as we're seeing right now, Soul Consumer peeled off to try and take advantage of Soul and Celery coming back from Saban. Soul went back to give Celery a ride to get back faster, and there were no real supports on the point there. And Soul Consumer tried to get into the back line and cut off Celery and Soul, but just was not able to do that and ended up having to retreat to a health pack. So on the first engage, Sombra was not available and it ended up being a bad thing for them. We're going to be seeing if this dive is going to work out.
That was an interesting charge right into there. Zavolte able to stay up with the rest of the team as the Shatter. Diva Bomb going down. Blue Moose also coming out with the tank mode. Ends up taking down Luminos and Zavolte. Dragon Blade and Biggie Cheese getting 2 kills of their own. That's going to shut down that push with 1:10 seconds on the clock. It looks like Team Blackout has really got to figure out what they're going to do to shut down Asylum Gaming.
It really looks like we unfortunately capped this 5th map here, because now they're gonna have to wait for Soul Consumer to respawn. That's another 10 seconds taken off their clock. So now they've got 1, maybe 2 pushes left to do here. But however, Soul Consumer, Sparrow, and Kamyendo all have their ultimate. Kamyendo is not really an ultimate. I am looking at Zavolte's Primal, but Soul Consumer and Sparrow can do some real work with that EMP Blade combo. Let's see if it can actually get anything done, as Sparrow probably is going to be setting up for this.
All right, well, here comes the Dragon Blade out from Sparrow with the power boost, trying to land on anything and everything. Ends up getting the triple kill on the high ground. It looks like that's exactly what they need. Eden ends up taking down Kamyendo with the turrets, but Sparrow is going to go ahead and clean up the objective with the help of Luminos and Windstar. Kamyendo back into the fight with only 10 seconds remaining. We are going to see Team Blackout go ahead and black out Objective Alpha, and they're going to start moving into Objective Bravo with another 4 minutes on the clock.
That was textbook Overwatch. That was, quite frankly, the cleanest fight I've ever seen in a long time. They used one ultimate, the Dragon Blade, to get into this fight and win it. They did beautifully. EMP, all 6!
EMP, all 6 of them. This may be what they need, but the Diva Bomb just a little too high. Only ends up taking down E. They following up on the Blade, falls but to Luminos. The Primal Rage takes down Celery, and Biggie Cheese ends up falling. Soul Consumer 1 tick and 2 ticks. We're going to a map 5, folks. Team Blackout taking it away. We're going to Busan. I love Busan. Team Blackout winning map number 4 here on Volskaya Industries. Kamyendo with play of the game as Baptiste. I want to see this. Grenade, 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 grenade. Oh my god! Grenade, grenade, grenade.
The supreme aim that it took to complete that play of the game.
Oh my goodness.
And to those of you, to those of you who actually do not believe in caster cursing, I'd like to point to that specifically. I said that we were going to be going to a map 5. And Asylum Gaming almost full held Blackout on first point. The second I mentioned that I thought I had caster cursed and we wouldn't get a map 5 anymore, Blackout steamrolls all the way to point 2, and we're going to a map 5 on Busan.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and see if we can. Well, actually, it looks like we're going to be giving the teams another 5-minute break for this tiebreaker round, which is a little unusual, but if the producer says that, then that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So let's go ahead and take this 5 minutes to talk about kind of what we're seeing from both these teams. Team Blackout able to take it in the end and tie things up against Asylum Gaming. These are both Diamond Division teams, so we're seeing very interesting compositions coming out from both teams. Some are working, some aren't working, but it definitely seems to be that these two are really head-to-head despite the differential in their wins and losses according to the leaderboard.
Absolutely. We got some cheers from map 5 here going on. Dry Pocket in the chat says in all caps, "Let's go, game 5, baby." We're both equally as excited. First game 5 for the both of us this season. It's great to be here in game 5. Super excited. The games always seem to be a little bit one-sided, a 3-1, a 4-0, something along those lines, but this has been super close. Blackout and Asylum are really evenly matched here, going back and forth and back and forth. Blackout is doing a great job in terms of anything that requires them to play what they're comfortable with. They were able to play what they're comfortable with in their last map on Volskaya, and they were able to play what they were comfortable with on Gibraltar, and that's really the two maps where they excelled the most, in my opinion. They ended up getting just about the same time bank as Asylum Gaming, and really, I'm super excited to see what Blackout's going to be bringing to this map 5, and just as equally as excited to see what Asylum Gaming is going to be bringing into this map 5. What do you think are the key players to be watching for each team here?
I think the huge thing that we're going to be seeing now, note, we're going back to another control map. Asylum Gaming and Team Blackout were very evenly matched during the last two maps, but Asylum took 100-0 on map 1 for Lijiang Tower. So the question's going to be, how practiced up are both of these teams on Busan? Who is most ready? Who is going to use the maps to their advantage? Because each map has its own personality. For the marketplace, you have the boot potential off the backside of the objective area that can be used in your favor. For the temple area, I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's called Sanctuary, actually. You have that big old statue in the middle, so the space to actually capture the point is very small. So you have to have kind of that close-up goats be goats strategy, or we might be seeing Soul Consumer and Blue Moose go Widow v Widow across the objective again. And then you have point number 3, which is the mecha base. That is absolutely huge because you have changing defenses going on all the time with the raising and the lowering of the barriers. And if the teams have that figured out, it could end up going in either direction right now. Team Blackout has it on lockdown to go ahead and bring it back in the end. Asylum Gaming really seems to have kind of that general, we've got a steady rhythm here. So I don't know. I'm like freaking out right now to see where we're going to end up going tonight.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'd like to see is, I would, as you mentioned, that what would a 1v1, and I'd also see maybe some more Winston play from Dragonblade and from Zavolte. Zavolte, I feel like, has been bringing out the Winston more than Dragonblade, but it's really just something I like to see, especially on control point maps, and especially now that the environment, or the CC, the knockback abilities, have been reworked so that they're more consistent. Winston's Primal Rage can do some serious damage, especially if you're good at it. And when you get into the diamond level, that's when people start getting seriously good at their individual roles. So Dragonblade and Zavolte, if they come out with a Primal Rage, I'll be really happy to see what that comes up with.
It could be huge, although we have seen Zavolte more on the Winston role than Dragonblade, but Dragonblade has been holding very well in the Rhine, so it really, again, it is very difficult to figure out how, like, which of these teams is going to come out in the end, despite what their leaderboard score is right now. Blackout and Asylum Gaming are seeming to be very evenly matched going into this final map, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen as we go to map 5 on Busan. Once again, go ahead and look at that little heart at the top of your stream. If you're interested in continuing to follow the action here at the Rose League, go ahead and pop that heart. You'll be able to follow us and get notifications every Monday through Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also hit that subscribe button with your Twitch Prime or just a basic $4.99 subscription. You can go ahead and continue to support our community for more amazing content such as this. I cannot say enough how excited I am for us to be going to a map 5. It has been so rare in the Rose League, 79 teams. It is so rare to see two teams so evenly matched that we end up going to a map 5. So I am wringing my hands at the excitement building for the teams to be ready to go. It looks like we are ready. So let's go ahead and get things started on Busan!
That was the most beautiful and energetic yell I've ever heard in a description of the map Busan. And
Well, I think of those. Asian casters. Like it's all about the yelling goal.
Beautiful job there, and I believe this is downtown. I believe that's
downtown.
what this area is called, and that's really going to be a good spot to start, especially if you're going to be coming in with a Winston. And we've got some BM in the chat going back and forth, maybe declaring a Torbjorn 1v1, which I will be really excited to see happen if it happens. What I'm really looking for here is I really want it just to be a 5v5 on point and just have one Torbjorn from each team just off somewhere else, just 1v1 each other.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
That would be ridiculous. That would be crazy.
That it makes a lot of sense that they're not going to do that, but I would love to see that happen at some point. It looks like we've probably got a multi-DPS comp here. 4 DPS, 1 healer, and 1 Hammond for the side of Blackout. And we've got a pretty much standard 2-2-2 composition coming in from Asylum with the heavy emphasis on the range damage. The 2 DPS, however, will be mirrored, and we're going to be seeing Dragon Blade come out on the Winston, just as I requested before. So I'm super excited to be seeing that coming out. Got some early poke damage coming in from Far and Hammond, and I'm going to hand it back to you, Captain.
Thank you so much, Platinum Thistle. Let's go ahead and get the action started here on downtown. Dragon Blade X gonna go ahead and take out Luminos to start things off. Sparrow gonna return the favor though and take down Blue Moose in the air. Dragon Blade following up on Windstar right there. It's a 4v5 fight as the point unlocks. The only one on the objective right now is Soul, and ends up finding themselves off of it. Eden going ahead and moving back to get that objective in their favor, and now we're gonna see the percentage climb start for Asylum Gaming.
There was never really a team wipe there for either side, which means the support ults are going to be going up crazy for both of these teams. Soul already got the nano boost up, but Eden's going to get hacked down here, which might be unfortunate, but it looks like Asylum's going to be able to close this point out pretty easily. Celery is almost at attack visor, and Dragon is almost at that primal rage. An early pick from Blue Moose is going to be another 10-second wait for Blackout, and a switch coming out from Soul Consumer onto the Tracer, and it looks like they're switching to a 2-2-2 composition, surrendering a bunch of ult charge, but they think that the ult charge is less important than a working composition, and I can definitely agree here.
I completely agree with you on that as well, Platinum, as they go ahead and switch to a dive composition. Sparrow now on the Genji and Soul Consumer on the Tracers. Volte trying to stay up as the Winston as they push into the objective, but they're fighting against Dragon Blade in the backline. The Nano ends up going on to Dragon Blade as they continue to fight. The percentage climb still going in favor of Asylum Gaming, 58% and climbing, as I just heard. Soul Consumer trying to get that back cap on the objective. Everyone now moving back to defend the objective with 65% and climbing right now. We're going to see Blue Moose go ahead and take to the air. Celery takes down Soul Consumer. They're going to push in on the objective. Blue Moose taking down Zavolte as the res comes in for Zavolte from Caminando. Biggie Cheese going to take down Caminando. So we got the tank, but now we don't got the heals as they go ahead and try to pull back. Sparrow ends up finding themselves off the edge of the map as the anti-nade takes down Windstar. That's going to be 87, 88% and climbing now for the side of Asylum Gaming. We may be seeing a repeat of Lijiang Tower for this first point.
Absolutely. It might be a 100-0. We one pick for each side, down 1 DPS. We're going to see this tack visor.
All right, the tack visor coming out from Celery as Windstar, Luminos, and Zavolte end up getting kills. Diva Bomb comes down trying to clear it. Soul Consumer gets res back into the fight. The Diva Bomb comes down for Biggie Cheese, takes down Windstar right there. Right now it is only Sparrow and Caminando on the objective as Sparrow gets the dash kill onto Dragon Blade. They're trying to hold on as long as possible. Zavolte trying to get that final kill onto Biggie Cheese right there as they continue to distract, and they have got it in their favor now. Team Blackout goes ahead and takes the objective, 22% now and climbing. It looks like they had actually grabbed that objective very early on in that fight, surprisingly enough.
Celery and Blue Moose are going to be switching up their DPS here. Celery's coming out on the Reaper and Blue Moose with that McCree. The Reaper obviously is to counter the Winston, and we're going to be seeing if that works out at all with this Primal coming in.
Oh, see, I am actually kind of surprised they didn't use that Primal the way I thought they were going to use that Primal. We end up seeing Zavolte push them back instead of kind of over the right edge right there into the train's path. That may be good, may be bad. Let's see as Sparrow ends up taking down Celery there in the back line. We're going to see Biggie Cheese fall to Sparrow as well as the percentage climb still going in favor of Team Blackout. 67% and climbing to the 99% being held by Asylum Gaming's Volte going to take out Soul at the end of that fight as they go ahead and regroup to try to come in for probably what may be their very last push.
Definitely going to be their last push. Blue Moose switching over to the Doomfist again, negating the ultimate. And we're going to be seeing as we move in here, let's have the sound bear.
Oh! The Volte is flying thanks to Blue Moose right there, and that might be exactly what they need. Windstar coming in with the trans, but Dragon Blade's going to tackle Yando. Can't stop that with the Transcendence. Unfortunately, the Diva Bomb comes in for Luminos, but doesn't end up landing on much of anything as Sparrow comes in, gets a slash kill onto Soul as Windstar takes down Celery as well. Biggie Cheese falling to Sparrow. It's 99-99, overtime ticking away. Blue Moose able to get the uppercut onto Luminos as Soul Consumer takes down Eden. Sparrow following up on Blue Moose and Windstar taking down Dragon Blade. And that is going to be a .1 capture for Team Blackout here on Busan.
One thing I'd like to point out is how Soul uses the Nano Boost. They've both been very, very interesting. The first time Soul used a Nano Boost was on Winston, and there are three real reasons to Nano Boost a Winston as Ana. The first is the obvious, just to get some good damage, especially if the team's running some squishies that you need to take care of, and if you've got the grab to combo with it. Another reason is to get him his primal rage. With the new environmental kill buff, the CC buff to their movement, a lot of teams are looking to get Winston their primal very fast, especially for the sustainability. So Soul putting the Nano Boost onto the Winston is usually what I would think that it's for, but this time Winston already had the primal and they popped it pretty much immediately, which means that they used the primal to sustain, and they ended up getting about 30 to 40% out of just the Winston in the backline, keeping the backline completely distracted with the 50% damage negation.
Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and get into the action here on the mecha base as Zavolte and Dragon Blade trading blow for blow right now on the objective. Winston versus Ryan, but it looks like Dragon Blade is going to be the one to hold it down as Blue Moose cleans up Sparrow. We're going to see Asylum Gaming go ahead and take the objective in their favor. Dragon Blade is right now chasing down a Soul Consumer, which I found very interesting. I was like, wait, where is Dragon Blade going? Ends up charging down the hallway randomly, and there's a little tracer looking to get there.
There have been a bunch of switches forced for the side of Blackout. They're running Dive 222, and now they up to more of an anti-Goats 222, which makes sense because Asylum is running that Goats composition. Dragon Blade with the Shatter, the only with an ult. We'll see if he can get anything done with it as they move into this fight.
It could be huge, but the hack is already on to Dragon Blade and half their health gone. If the healers can keep them up, the beat drop coming in from Eden, gonna make that land. Here comes the Shatter after Celery takes down Zavolte. Soul and Dragon Blade are cleaning up, but Yando ends up bringing Zavolte back into the fight. Luminos and Zavolte falling once again to Dragon Blade, and a back cap coming in from Windstar. See, I always have to question whether or not that's a good choice for a healer to try to go for that back cap. It is good, but it is also
with Lucio.
bad. Yeah, because you negate all that healing by being away from your team, and that is something they really could have used, especially with getting Zavolte back into the fight. And now 75% for the side of Asylum Gaming. They may only have one chance to get back in. The Bar of Mercy in the air as the beat drop comes in from Windstar. Diva Bomb coming down from Big Cheese, and that is not going to end up landing on much anything. Dragon Blade taking down Zavolte once again, but Sparrow's going to clean up Soul, so it's a 5v5 fight on and off the objective. Sparrow going to fall. Celery as well. 94, 95% climbing for the side of Asylum. Right now, Dragon Blade, the only one on the objective against Windstar. Oh my goodness, ends up falling to Sparrow with the help of a pistol-wielding Kamanyando. Sparrow cleaning up the objective, and at 99% once again, Team Blackout gonna grab victory from the jaws of defeat and grab the objective, and the percentage now going up in their favor.
Now, this is exactly what we saw last time. Asylum gets it up to 90, and then Blackout catches it. If you're Asylum right now, you're going to want to be thinking, okay, we'll pull some eco pushes, and then we'll use all of our ults at once just to wipe it and take the point. But they used Rally early to use this engage. We'll see if it wins them anything other than an EMP.
Ooh, that was smart. The EMP got 5, but not who moves in right at the end to try to keep everybody up during that EMP so that they don't end up falling, but Zavolte is going to end up taking down Celery. Soul and Eden follow up on Zavolte and Luminos, though. Soul Consumer ends up taking down Soul, which has been common as the res comes in for Zavolte from Kamanyando. Blue Moose ends up taking down Sparrow. Eden following up on Zavolte, 99% to 55 and climbing right now as the Diva Bomb comes out for Biggie Cheese, and it looks like that's going to get Windstar. Blue Moose following up on Kamanyando and Dragonblade taking down Soul Consumer. Here comes the Graviton onto Luminos, but they don't see in the backline Zavolte coming in as the Hammond to try to distract during overtime, getting that shatter in, but it's not going to be enough. Blue Moose coming and taking them right out of the fight. Overtime still ticking away in favor of Asylum Gaming right now as they take down Kamanyando and Windstar and Soul Consumer. It is down to the last map, folks. Asylum Gaming versus Team Blackout. 2-2 in the series, 1-1 on Busan. This is the map to decide it all. Busan Sanctuary.
Now, this is super, super exciting, and this Busan Sanctuary allows for multiple different playstyles. It allows for the Wrecking to go for, allows for the 2-2-2, and it allows for goats. You can really go with anything you're comfortable with here, which makes it the perfect map to be ending on. I would probably like to see Soul Consumer on the Ashe just because I've really enjoyed it, but it looks like they're going to be going with the goats comp, whereas Asylum's going to be going with the 2-2-2, which is the exact reverse of what happened last map. So Asylum's going to be looking to replicate their past performance and not that of the predecessors of the 2-2-2 in the previous game.
Let's see if they can make it happen. They're already moving into the objective. Zavolte already getting slept, but right back into the fight as they're looking to get aggressive. We're going to see Dragonblade end up getting stunned right there, but not out of the fight as Celery ends up taking down Sparrow to start things off on the Soldier 76. Biggie Cheese following up on Zavolte. It's a 4v6 fight as Asylum Gaming looking to try to take the objective right there. Dragonblade gonna get the tackle onto Kamanyando as Celery follows up on Soul Consumer. Windstar does take down Biggie Cheese, but Blue Moose is gonna get the final kills on Luminos and Windstar and gain the objective in favor of Asylum Gaming.
You want to hear my favorite clickbait article title?
Sure.
Top 10 reasons why Soul carried that last fight. The biggest is the sleep dart on to Soul Consumer on the Brig. That was beautiful and allowed to get the anti-nade in, and without Brig, the Goats comp is just a spear without a tip. There's nothing that they can do, and they rushed in and picked them off with the anti-nade, denying the healing. And as I said, almost as if her wish was my command, Soul Consumer is going to be on the Ashe here, but Blue Moose doesn't let that phase him. He's coming in with the pick.
Nope, Blue Moose already getting the first pick on to Sparrow coming in as the Pharah for this fight. Luminos coming in with the Diva Bomb, looking to do some damage. Doesn't end up hitting much of anything as Biggie Cheese takes down Zavolte, 44% and climbing for the side of Asylum Gaming. Team Blackout really trying to figure out how to get past the defense that is being put out, but Soul Consumer already up to 61% on the Ashe Ultimate. The Bob is going to be coming into the action very shortly with all that Dynamite coming out. Soul Consumer ends up taking down Blue Moose right there, but the res is going to come in from Eden to bring them back into the fight. So it's now 6v6. Once again, the Pharah Mercy in the sky and Soul Consumer on the ground with the tanks and Windstar. That is going to be huge as they near the 70% mark. Asylum Gaming looking to hold on with, here comes Bob. Bob looking to do some damage. Biggie Cheese ends up taking down Luminos, but Biggie Cheese falls to Soul Consumers. Bob Soul Consumer taking down Blue Moose as well, but Blue Moose takes down Windstar. The Bob doing damage all over the place with the Valkyrie, trying to keep everyone up. Luminos gets res back in by Commandando as Sparrow follows up on Eden and Celery. This might be the switch that Team Blackout needs at 95, 96, 97%. The tank's still online, as well as the Ana Soul trying to hold on. Soul Consumer gonna take down Dragon Blade, and at 99% again, Team Blackout grips victory from the jaws of defeat and are climbing their percentage up to meet that of Asylum Gaming.
The beginning of our story starts as any other, with Asylum Gaming 99% up, and then a flip going over to Team Blackout. We're going to be seeing if anything changes here. We'll be back with NPR.
Oh my goodness. None of that NPR type voices here tonight, folks. We got the hype. This is a game 5. This is a tiebreaker match on the last map. Let's get that chat blowing up, folks. 99% to 37 and climbing as the Nano Visor coming out for Celery. Double shatters coming out for the Volte and Dragon Blade, and the Mirage coming out from Sparrow gets the double kill as Commandando takes down Blue Moose. Celery following up on Sparrow. Dragon Blade getting the tackle onto Windstar right there. Is the fight for the ages on the objective as Dragon Blade takes down the Volte. Consumer with the Bob helping take down Celery and Dragon Blade, and they're going to continue their percentage climb 62% and up to 99% for Asylum Gaming.
Now, Asylum Gaming is going to be coming in here with the old advantage. It has the Valkyrie, Biggie Cheese has the Diva Bomb, and Dragon Blade has the Shatter. Soul will probably be getting a nano boost within this next fight, but Blue Moose and Celery, their two main DPS ults, are not going to be online. Luminos, however, has arguably the biggest fight-winning ult in the game with the Zarya Graviton Surge, and we're gonna be seeing if that can get them anything. Looks like Soul is just gonna take it. Quick pick though.
That is a quick pick, 93% and climbing. It is the last fight as the Graviton comes out. A counter shatter tried to come in, but the tackle from shuts it down. The Diva Bomb going into the backline from Biggie Cheese. Takes down Soul Consumer and Commandando. It's a 4v4 fight on the objective right now. Blue Moose taking down Windstar. Soul following up on Luminos, but Sparrow taking down Celery. Soul falls to Zavolte, and Sparrow taking down Eden. It is Blue Moose taking down Zavolte and Sparrow now, and it is going back in favor of Asylum Gaming. Overtime ticking away, and I don't think they're going to make it back to the point. Asylum Gaming walking away with the victory 3-2 tonight on such an amazing game.
That was beautiful. Blue Moose there coming in with the absolute clutch. That was fantastic. We have the Spectator Shadow saying, "I love you, have my..." And then a couple keyboard spams. I think he might have fallen over. But that was a beautiful job. Just magnificently done by Blue Moose in the end there. It was just him and Luminos at the Diva. They were doing a fantastic job. Luminos was giving him support. He was giving him the D-Matrix. He was giving him everything he needed. And in order to thank Luminos, what does he do? Blue comes out with 4 picks total in that last match. In the last fight, in the last team fight, he comes out with 4 picks by himself, which is absolutely beautiful. And one of the biggest things I'd like to point out is when he's allowed to do his job, he's doing it beautifully. Now, I think what we're going to do here is I think we're going to do something a little less orthodox. Same thing we did with Asylum last time. We are going to end up taking like a 60-second break, and we're going to switch over, and we're going to be able to do another interview with the manager of Asylum Gaming to talk about this massive win for his team, especially since the last game that they played was a 4-0.
That was absolutely huge. But before we go to that, we got to ask you all in the stream, who your player of the match is for this evening. You can pick from either team that you've seen play this evening. It is absolutely phenomenal, and I don't think I can narrow it down to even just one person between Blackout and Asylum Gaming tonight. I don't think that I can pick that, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Platinum to be the first one to pick their player of the match this evening.
Oh, mine was picked from the beginning until the very end, which Blue Moose gave me a... it gave me a very...
Oh my god, I'm so scared. Oh.
Whoa. Heyo.
Blue Moose gave me a lot to think about in the end, but we definitely saw some strong performance from Soul throughout the entire match, and that's why I'm giving it to Soul from Asylum Gaming. The sleeps, the anti-nades, the proper nano boost, they were all there. Each nano boost was surgical in my mind, whether it was to gain ultimate, do damage, or just be able to provide sustainability to your main tank. It was absolutely beautiful. That's why I'm giving my MVP tonight to Soul from Asylum Gaming.
I have to say, I'm going to have to give out two because I really cannot choose between these two teams tonight. And the first one, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Asylum Gaming's Dragon Blade. As the main tank, you were doing an exceptional job taking space, making space during the game, just doing a fantastic job all around, being able to bring your team to victory tonight. But I have to say, for the side of Team Blackout, and they already left chat, so now I'm forgetting their name, but the sniper that they had, why is it escaping my memory?
Soul.
No, it wasn't Soul on Team Blackout. Soul Consumer. Yes, that's right. Soul Consumer on the side of Team Blackout, absolutely carrying for their team many times, 3-4 picks at a time on the Widow, just siding out those minuscule seconds between shields popping down for them to get those headshots over and over and over again. Team Blackout do not really see this as a loss because it was such an aggressive fight between you and Asylum Gaming, and I think of all the matches I've seen so far this season, this is the most evenly matched to the very end.
Now, that was a beautiful match, and I can definitely agree, but what we do here, Adrift has joined us in the chat. He is the manager of Asylum Gaming. As I said, last game that I casted for them, we had Adrift into the chat, and he was talking about how one of their key players ended up getting knocked out from a storm, I believe, losing power and not being able to play, and they got 4-0'd, which is super unfortunate, but we see them come back in strong against Team Blackout today. What would you like to say about your team today?
That was the most intense match I've ever watched in my life.
Oh yes, I'm at the edge of my seat.
Oh my
Absolutely.
god. I think, like, if I were in your position having to choose the match, I feel like I wouldn't be able to choose it. There were so many players that just went above and beyond. Like, I thought, like, Soul was insane on his healing. Biggie Cheese had some amazing plays. I think that last fight at the end, I think he saved that. I mean, he clutched. That was... Oh my god.
That was actually the point that I was like, oh my goodness, between the two, because we saw the Rhine from Blackout end up taking down the Rhine on your team at the beginning of that fight, totally nullifying the Shatter. But then the Diva Bomb came out and ended up landing on 2, giving them a fighting chance to continue going. And it was literally a nail biter down to the very end between these two teams. I've got to say, you must be a very proud manager right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been a few tough couple weeks for us. We've had a lot of losses in like open division and here, and we kind of put in a lot of work in practice. That player Soul, we picked him up last week, and he's been just amazing for us. His Zen is really, really good. Like, he can hit all the shots. Overall, I mean, that was just a great game. I'm happy that it was tested, number one. But yeah, I'm happy that they got that win. That's really good for the team morale, everything. So.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Adrift, for joining us for this post-game interview. We're glad that your team was able to finally walk away with their victory, tying themselves up in victories with Blackout in the end.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, let's go ahead and go into the chat, see who everyone voted their player of the match to be. It looks like a lot of love coming out for Dragon Blade X on the main tank right there for the side of Asylum Gaming.
A whole
lot of love, but there's some love for Soul in there too. There's some healer love for Soul. That's the way to be. And I have to say, I think the biggest joke of the night between both those teams was how many times Soul Consumer took down Soul. Over and over and over again. I was like, I mean, yes, it's their job as the DPS to take out the healers, but just the irony that Soul Consumer just happened to be the one continually taking down Soul, it just lightened my spirits a little bit. It was just great.
Absolutely, and I as a caster, and I'm sure you as a caster, I got some frustration from the names. Dragon Blade playing a main tank, it was not nice to see. There was no Genji in play to see Dragon Blade take down 4 people. But it was also nice that they both had a Soul on their team, differently spelled, same pronunciation. Super unfortunate there. One of them on the DPS, one of them on the healer, and I'm glad there was a lot of friendly competition between these two teams today. Our chat was very, very participatory, and we're all very thankful for that. As we're closing up here, I just want to say a couple thank yous. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and thank you to all of the people who participated in chat. Both teams, you did a fantastic job, and obviously your manager is proud of you, Asylum. The chat is proud of both of you, Blackout and Asylum. And I'm just going to say a quick thank you to you, Captain Jack, for co-casting with me tonight. And I'd like to also thank Caden Vieira, who was our producer for today. Did a fantastic job on that, seamless transitions, and also getting herself in on the chat as well. So why don't you close us out here?
I sure will. Thank you so much, Platinum Thistle, for joining us this evening as well. That's going to be it for us here at the Rose League. If you want to tune in for some more action, go ahead and hit that follow button at the top of your screen. That'll go ahead and give you an alert every time that we're online, which is usually Monday through Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also hit that subscribe button, and with a Twitch Prime subscription or $4.99 a month, you can support our community so we can bring you more amazing things such as what you all saw this evening. With that being said, that's it for us here at the Rose League. I'm Captain Jack.
I'm Platinum Thistle.
And we'll catch you all next time.